What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phones and Drones. Alright, you guys can see it. We have that red box in house, and you know what that means. It is OnePlus time. OnePlus has undergone a lot of changes, and not so many good ones at that. There's been a lot of complaints and concerns about their merger with Oppo and all that, but for now, the OnePlus 10 Pro is in-house. OnePlus seems to be righting the ship. This is the US version. They finally announced it's going to be available more so internationally than that original release in China back in January. So having said that, I want to go ahead and give you guys a spec rundown, first look on the device, unboxing experience, and kind of talk about some of these integrated changes. There are a few unique differences between this and the Chinese specific version. One of the main ones is going to be what charger comes in box. So yes, be grateful a charger does come in this box, but it is not what this phone is truly capable of being charged with, and that is 80 watts. This is going to come with a 65 watt charger. OnePlus is telling us that's due to the charging infrastructure in the US. I'm not sure how truthful that is. Obviously there is some merit to it, but I'm looking to get an 80 watt charger in-house to see if it will work with this variant. Again, this is the US version. It should be out in about 2 weeks from when this video goes live, and as well in some other markets. This is the only version we're getting here. It is the 8 gigs of RAM and 128 gigs of storage. Two color options. This is that Emerald Forest that I think really looks good. I think the other one is a volcanic color. It's more of a black colorway, but both look really good. We are unable currently to get the 12 gig variant with 256 gigs of storage. So if you're looking for that, you're unfortunately going to be a little disappointed with that. But let's go ahead and jump right into it. Let's unbox this baby and go through some of these specs. One other call out really quick in regards to the differences, aside from the charging speed, technically the unlocked version, which this is, does not come with an IP rating. We're told that they are built the same way as the T-Mobile variant, who will partner with OnePlus again in the States. That does have an IP68 water resistance, but not the unlocked variant. So do as that what you wish, but I wanted to let you guys know. Alright, so right off the top, we have, looks like all our regular reading material, all our welcome books, SIM ejectors tool, quick start guide, safety information, and actually some more stickers. Hyper Boost, and the traditional OnePlus logo. Go ahead and throw all that to the side for now. And we have the device up next. And one quick call out. I am very happy to see they moved the fingerprint sensor up this year from how low it was on the 9 series last year. That was a little bit of pain. You're kind of worried about dropping it, but not this year. They learned from their mistakes. So there it is. You can see that green color pattern, the wireless charging area, as well as the NFC detection area being called out right on the protective film on this device. Moving past that, there is that 65 watt charger. And again, you can see the differentiating marks right there, 65 watt, not the 80, but again, I am looking to get it in and see if it does charge any difference. Supposedly, all you're going to gain from the 80, from the 65 watt charging speed is about 10 minutes saved from empty to full. But again, not a big deal. 65 watt is still super fast. One other call out too, you can see it is now Super VOOC charging. That is what Oppo uses as their monk ear. There's no more warp charging or any of that. It is now all under one roof, and they do use that hot word now for the supercharging speeds. Obviously you do have another USB-C to USB-C cable. It is of course that red cable that OnePlus is known for. And it looks like you have a data transfer tool as well. It is USB-C to USB-A in case you want to transfer any data that way, or plug in any external storage drive as well. So that is all for that. Let's unwrap this baby and give you a quick look. This is the retail version, and I actually really do like this colorway. I know a lot of people have been making fun of this new camera design looking like a kitchen stovetop, like the element groupings, but I actually think it looks really cool. It's a unique look for sure. It is definitely not going to be for everyone, but I like it. Feels like the OnePlus logo is actually etched on there as well. It almost looks like it was stuck on, but it is not. First feel in hand actually feels really good as well. In typical fashion too, OnePlus has that typical, somewhat cheap plastic screen protector on it, but it's better than nothing. Let's go ahead and power this on. You do have your power button right here, your notification slider, which is basically a staple of all OnePlus phones except for some rumored ones coming out, which we'll touch on in another video. You do have your volume rocker all in one on the left hand side. You have your microphone on top, that front facing camera, your SIM card tray, USB-C charger, and those stereo speakers obviously at the bottom. Triple camera setup we'll talk about in 1 second. But as far as display goes, this is going to be a 6.7 inch QHD display. You do have that triple camera setup like I said, and it does come with a 5,000 milliamp hour battery that is going to be charged with that VOOC charging system. Depending on, again, where you are, that'll dictate really which solution you have. The beauty of this is that the display here is a new LTPO2 fluid AMOLED display, which will allow everything to be a little smoother and operate from 1 to 120 hertz, which is amazing. So it's obviously all going to be fluid. The operating system and everything does it in the background. You can't fix it on 120 watts or 120 hertz, unfortunately. So just keep that in mind. It is an HDR 10 Plus display. You do get about 500 nits typical, up to a peak of 1300 nits. So for those of you familiar, the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra can hit I think about 1700 nits, but not the worst brightness that is out there. And especially when you consider the price difference as well. Aside from that, like I said, it is a 6.7 inch display. That full resolution is 1440 by 3216. It gives you about a 20:9 aspect ratio with a 525 pixel per inch density. You are running Android 12 out of the box with Oxygen OS 12.1 internationally and Color OS 12.1 in China. So this is a big call out. OnePlus was originally going to merge these. They got a lot of backlash, listened to their fans, and did not go ahead with that. So luckily, yes, we are still going to get Oxygen OS, but don't think it's what it used to be. It still has a lot of, let's just say, Color OS, and really just Color OS theming to it in general. So, alright, enough about the display. Let's move on to these cameras. You are going to have that triple camera setup we talked about. You're getting a 48 megapixel f1.8 aperture wide angle lens, a 50 megapixel f2.2 aperture ultra wide, and an 8 megapixel telephoto. 8 megapixel telephoto is a little, kind of shoddy if you're asking me. You're getting 3.3x zoom only from it, and I don't think the quality is going to be super great, but hopefully with the Hasselblad partnership on it, with the color calibration and all that, it should help. Obviously, you do have that dual tone LED flash on the back as well. Can record HDR content, and it is capable of recording 8K at 24 frames per second, but more typically what you'll use it for is that 4K at 30, 60, or 120 frames per second. And obviously you do have 1080p as well. Aside from that, that front camera that we were talking about does have a 32 megapixel f2.2 wide angle lens that is also capable of auto HDR as well, and you can record video only at 1080p at 30 frames on the front camera. Just something to keep in mind. Aside from that, like I said, you do have those stereo speakers and all of that, NFC, blah blah blah. It's going to be very interesting to see if we get truly a big difference between that charging speed from the 80 watts to the 65. They do both, regardless of the international or China model, do work with 50 watt wireless charging and reverse wireless power share. So that's really kind of where we're at. I'm looking forward to getting this all set up. I'll get my information logged in here and we'll be right back. Alright, so we got it all set up. We have our app still installing in the background, but I wanted to give you a quick look at just a couple of things here on the device. You can see by default, right out of the box, you do have your AOD running, so that always on display is going to give you all your notifications, your battery, the time, and any timely updates that might be needed, as well as your fingerprint sensor. And again, like we were talking about, that is a much better placement for where that should be. So you can see just how good it is. Each time I use it, I've had no issues so far, and it is very smooth. So speaking of smooth, as OnePlus is pretty common with, these animations right here, they look really good. And I wish the camera would pick it up better, but here it is. It looks great. But what doesn't look so good, and again, it's a personal preference, I am not a fan of these icons and the stock launcher, I guess you can call it, and what you get here. Again, not a big deal. Throw a new launcher on this. We use Nova regularly. For those of you that follow the channel, you'll know we have used it for quite a while now. So not a huge deal, but for somebody that doesn't want to tinker too much, you're going to see this right out of the box. It might be a little jarring for somebody coming from maybe a Pixel 6 or something of that sort. Beyond that, one of the other changes I want to show you is, yes, you can swipe down on the display for your notification screen, but if you were to pull down, you're going to actually get access to the shelf by default, and that is kind of nothing new or more than widgets that you would have here on your dashboard if you really cared, or on your home screen. So I am not a big fan. Again, no big deal. You can turn it right off here if you choose not to really want to use it. I'm going to do that. I'd rather be able to pull down and get all my notifications as quick as possible. Aside from that, we can jump in the settings really quick and you can see exactly what it looks like. And yeah, it's Android 12. Not too much else to it. I think this display and this screen looks pretty good. It's clean, it's minimalistic. Again, these are all personal preferences, but I like the way it's looking right now. So I'll jump into all these in our next video, but one other thing I do want to show you guys at a quick glance is just how the size compares to the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra and the Pixel 6 Pro. And I actually, obviously, have both right here. So we'll go ahead and take the 6 Pro out of the case really quick. And you can just see how much almost more aerodynamic and ergonomic it is. It's more rounded, not quite as boxy. It is easier to hold in your hand. But these are the two devices side by side. And then also, let me grab that S22 Ultra right here. Take it out of that case as well. And yeah, quite a substantial difference here also. I think both these devices look really good, but anyone that's actually held a Note series device, or obviously a S22 Ultra, can just see how boxy it is, and it's very difficult to use one-handed. I'm not getting the same kind of issue at first glance from the OnePlus. But again, we'll do some research. We'll be able to do a deep dive into it. We're going to throw our SIM card into this and really go from there. What do you guys think? Is this new Hasselblad partnership going to pay off with these cameras? Are you a fan of the 10 Pro series in general? I'll leave a referral link in the description of this video for you guys to go jump into and take a look at. We greatly appreciate it if you use it. Save yourself a couple bucks as well. And comment down below if you're going to be grabbing one. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next one. Peace.